We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special report.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know, my rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad. Shut up! Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to you! War game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. Let's talk some wrestling this week in wrestling with your host, BX Sports Jedi Kev, and the one and only Chris, PG Chris. What's going on, Chris? How are you?
What is up, Kev? Sports Jedi Network, Heal the Ring podcast. This was a really good week of pro wrestling. From Monday Night Raw with some shockers, NXT had some shockers, and tonight's the go-home show for Revolution. So we have a lot of stuff going on today. I'm excited. What's up, Chris the Flash? Shout out to you, brother. Hope you're having a good day. And we want to hear from you guys too. So I'm excited. Another week of weekly wrestling. Let's get it. There's a lot to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. We're getting the fallout of the Elimination Chamber. The whole world is revolving, talking. When I talk about the whole world, is even crossing all different platforms, from the entertainment to the traditional sports media outlets, the John Cena heel turn, the ramifications of it. You have Shannon Sharp talking about it. You have Stephen A. Smith, First Take. You have all different outlets just like, wow, the John Cena heel turn has really taken the world's eyes into professional wrestling altogether. What a good job there. And you know what they say, what next now? What's the build? What's the follow-up? For me, as a casual wrestling fan, not a casual, a diehard. I'm not going to say a diehard because we have channels and we're covering it and we speak about it. So I misspoke there. As a diehard wrestling fan, I love the follow-up because we open up Monday Night Raw with CM Punk, and CM Punk just comes out and CM Punk does what he does. He wants to light a fire, and he just talks about that promo, cutting that promo, calling Dwayne, bald fraud. John Cena, he knew that he was talking bullshit for 20 years. And then, of course, he is really irate. He is a man on a mission who's so irate, so pissed off that he did not get to point at WrestleMania. And all of a sudden, he wants to burn the company down. But before he wants to burn it down, here comes Seth freaking Rollins. No, that's his gimmick. I love the way Monday Night Raw opened up. It was just total chaos, organized chaos with these two men who distinguishedly dislike each other, and the way that the security and everyone tries to stop or hold them back, and they just kept persevering, Chris. I love that with that opening start for what a week to start wrestling.
Absolutely. This was probably one of their best. They've done this before in the past where they've fought in each other. This is personally one of my favorites that they've done. I think with Seth and Punk, this is going to play out bigger than anybody expects, in my opinion. I still would see a world where Seth Rollins joins Cena and Rock because of how much hatred he has for CM Punk. I'm still curious on, are we going to see these two have a singles match at WrestleMania? I know everybody wanted this at WrestleMania last year, including myself. That was the plan. But you know, CM Punk said it himself, you don't have anything that I want. Last year you had a championship. This year you have nothing. I just want to know where these two play in at WrestleMania. If it is going to be a triple threat match with Roman Reigns, are these two going to have an implication that happens at night 2 and night 1? There's so much they could do with these guys, not just one-on-one. But I think a lot of people are surprised that this feud is still going on. I think a lot of people expected the feud to end at the premiere on Netflix on January 6th. And I'm happy it didn't end at that time. I'm happy we're still getting it because there's so much story. There's such a big story to be told. And they didn't tell nearly as half the story building up to that match at the premiere of Netflix. So they're doing such a good job of just showing us how much they really hate each other. A lot of people still, I will say the casuals, because I'm friends outside of the wrestling world with a lot of casual wrestling fans that just watch the big PLEs that are now getting back into it because of Netflix, and they enjoy this. They don't know if this is fake or not because they know the history between Punk and Seth Rollins. I hope they talk about their NXT days. I was watching NXT. I watched NXT at that time when they had their tag team match together, and it's on the Vault. I mean, they could play that so much. There's just so much they could go with it, Kev. I'm not mad that they're extending the storyline for WrestleMania. Hell, have them involved for SummerSlam for all I care. As long as we're getting what we're getting now, you know, great promo battles, I will have these two go at it on. Excuse my language, but that's how great this stuff is. That's how great this feud is, in my opinion. I love it.
I'm not going to compare it to this other feud whatsoever, but that animosity between, if you're an old school boxing fan, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, they had their battles in boxing world so many times, and we knew that's a genuine dislike rivalry. And those two legends of boxing heavyweight dislike each other. And if you want to say, you know, Frazier versus Ali, again, if you could just duplicate, if you go back in time, you want to see that. You want to see that those genuine dislike in the world of in as long as they do it where they did a great job on Monday Night Raw, showing they really dislike each other to the point where Punk had one of the best lines. If you ask me, come get your man because I'm about to put him in a wheelchair. Becky Lynch, come get your man. I'm about to put him in a wheelchair. I mean, holy smokes. Forcing the WWE to make it put from general manager Adam Pearce leading into a match, heading into the world's most famous arena this Monday night. You got Rollins, Punk in a steel cage at Madison Square Garden. We all know the history, the implication of Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, but the steel cage match, Don Morocco, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, so many cage matches that are done there in Madison Square Garden in the history of Madison Square Garden. Now you have two guys who are bitter enemies, who have disdain, dislike, can't stand each other, at least what they show us on paper. And there maybe is some truth to it because we know Rollins had some salty comments before Punk returned back to the WWE about, and which had a lot of truth to it. He was trying to destroy the company for many years while he's trying to elevate it and become the flag bearer of the company. We all know that CM Punk is one of the main corporates of beginning the Shield. I don't know if they'll touch even more, go into in depth on that. I think they're leaving that caveat, Chris, if they want to continue, like you said, continue more of the story. It ain't over. This is a steel cage match. It ain't over until one of us is either, I can't stand you so much. If Rollins can win, let's say, for instance, and he just can't beat him, and Rollins says, I will put my career on the line if I can't beat you. That's how much I want to destroy you. I'm not saying that's going to be an end to a career-ending match, but they can leave that meat on the bone for later on if they want to ever revisit or continue that feud to add some more intrigue, more emotional investment from the fan base there. I'm not bored with it. I'm not saying again, to me, no. If these guys want to show themselves that they want to beat the shit and beat each other up and knock each other out, and to the point where, bloody lips, anything possible, I'm here. Take my money. Take my money and take my time. Take my time. What I mean, I'm going to invest my time. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to watch. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to relish in these two men just beating the heck out of each other in a wrestling, in a sport that is wrestling, but they don't want to wrestle. They want to beat each other up. They want to take that. They want to see someone go out hurt. I'm in it. I'm invested, Chris.
No, absolutely. And like I said, if Seth Rollins loses this match at Madison Square Garden, I think he hates CM Punk that much. So I think CM Punk is going to align himself with Cody. I think we're going to meet. I think there's going to be some time during On the Road to WrestleMania where we see a promo battle between Cena and Punk. We see something with The Rock. Punk still has his favor. We don't know where that plays out. This is just my personal prediction or what I would like to see play out. Again, Seth hates Punk so much. If Punk decides to align himself with Cody, I could see one day maybe, hypothetically like a CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are in the ring having a promo battle with like The Rock and John Cena, and like all of a sudden like The Rock says like, well, we got one, and then boom, somebody comes from behind, attacks. It's Seth Rollins joining Rock and Cena. I've been telling some of my casual friends outside of the wrestling world this. They're all like, whoa, like that'd be insane. Like I didn't think of that. Like with Cena turning heel at this point, I'm throwing out whatever comes to my head because we really don't know what could happen. I did not after witnessing that, it's game on with Triple H. So I think I could see that happening where Seth aligns himself. Again, he has so much hatred for CM Punk, and I think Cody or Seth, I think, has a little bit of animosity towards Cody, teaming up with Roman, buddy with Punk. Like I think Seth still has unfinished business with Cody. Boom, that gives Seth a bigger reason to sell out to The Rock. I mean, he's done it before with Triple H with the higher ups, right? He'll do it again.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, there's so many. I love when you say that because, like you said, Triple H booking or storyline creative, it could go anywhere because he kept us on our toes. He kept us on our toes because tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had 3 title defenses. We'll get into that in a second, but I'm with you. I think with The Rock story with Punk calling him out, John Cena turning heel, I thought, and of course, I have an opinion. I still think Punk is another one who probably sells out, but that favor might not be cashed in. It doesn't have to be now. It doesn't have to be this WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be the road to WrestleMania. They could leave that, and I always said it, time and time again. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I keep saying that SummerSlam to me is where they're going to put marquee matchups. They've got everyone. WrestleMania is already hot. They already got us. The Vegas, but now SummerSlam, it's a first ever 2-night event. They have to put some 2 nights of holy crap. It's summertime. People they usually take vacation. Kids are out of school, all that good stuff there. The weather's nice. People are going to flock to want to go. They want, and the MetLife Stadium, they looking to draw over 75,000 plus in 2 nights, looking over 150,000 for that. And you have to put something that people are going to say, I need to go. I need to be part of it. I need to be in that. I need to be there for that first ever 2 nights. And I got to, and they could actually even push the boundary to 80,000, So if you put, you haven't done Rock and Roman. Everyone's like, oh, we need it for this WrestleMania. Hold your horses. Could we see a CM Punk turn in on the road to SummerSlam, cashing in the favor where The Rock could open up the doors? Okay, I tried it. I could see a scenario where Punk says, I tried it helping Cody, but damn, Dwayne is just too powerful. Cena sold out. So powerful. You know what, Heyman, I need a favor, man. I need to sit down with The Rock. If I can't beat him, I'm going to join him. Maybe it doesn't have to happen right there. We love that direction. I'm still, speculating on who could be there. Let's enjoy. Let's wait. Let's see who shows up there. Who aligns himself with Cody and The Rock. You mentioned a great name, Carmelo Hayes. The more you talk, the more I contemplate and think about that. I like it for Carmelo because you need a young up and comer to go in there and take the bumps, take the pins, take the comeuppance. But then when the tide turns, he's the one that's going to be the most elevated out of the whole entire group. And Carmelo Hayes has a future. Seeing him the way he ran NXT, as world champion, and if you got Braun on the other side on Raw, and then you could bring in Carmelo Hayes, eventually those two are going to meet. Those are the future of professional wrestling. I've said it. Me and Terrence made that video, or we were part of that promo for Stand and Deliver 2023. Braun Breaker's the future, and Carmelo Hayes is up and coming, and we said that on that video that they use on Stand and Deliver before their main event. Me and Terrence they asked us, WWE Network, if you go on Peacock, you see us there. And my point is that those, you could heat those wrestlers up, and they could take, in the case of Carmelo Hayes, taking the pin, taking the brunt. But we'll see how that goes. Let's take on Monday Night Raw because we got a lot of wrestling to cover, and we got to do it a kind of a little rapid fire there. One of the first matches that they had for one of the title defenses, we had Lyra Valkyria taking on Ivy Niles in a back and forth. This match here for the Women's Intercontinental title, I've seen those two ladies wrestle personally at NXT down in the Performance Center many times, but there's this one not for the Intercontinental Gold. These ladies put on a really good match. From Ivy Niles and Lyra Valkyria, I know people are saying we need to see more of a storyline. The storyline here is Ivy Niles needs to bring Chad Gable title because Chad Gable asked him go get gold while I go get a box in Mexico. I don't know why he went to Mexico for a colon box. But we'll find out what's in that box. But your thoughts on this Ivy Niles Lyra Valkyria match?
No, I don't have too much to comment on it. You nailed it on. These are two great in-ring wrestlers. I'm not really invested in nor Ivy Nile or Lyra Valkyria as wrestlers, singles competitors, but I can appreciate a good championship match. I can appreciate Triple H giving Ivy Nile a title match. I can appreciate Lyra Valkyria keep doing her thing in the ring. So yeah, it was a great match. Great match. Nothing more to add. It was a good match. Good. I thought the right winner won as well.
I'm gonna add a little bit of caveat to the match. I like the fact that Lyra was selling on her knee being compromised by Ivy Niles throughout the match. Just showing those attentions to details, seeing her progression as an in-ring performer, seeing her showing that she was compromised, not able to do most of her moves, stacking the dock against her. I'm going to say this about Ivy Niles. Her work in the main roster, much better than one I saw in NXT. Ivy Niles, from her character as a heel, not interact, she always showed that heelage part where even when she was part of Diamond Mine and as a baby face with the Creed brothers, but she still showed a little bit of being a little, and I hate to say a little bitchy. It's like, oh, Ivy's in a bad mood. But there was heel always in her, and they had her baby face in NXT, but she's showing more personality now in the main roster, which is good for her because this is where you want to excel and you want to be more captivating to an audience for Ivy Niles. And for her, she's doing great work in the main roster. For her, with part of the Creed brothers, Lyra with her power, the sit-down power bomb that she keeps hitting. But then what I loved about that with her, and I noticed that when she did it, she clutched her knee. Like she has, I just executed this move, but there's a little bit of pain in me. But I made the match, the finisher at the end, more meaningful when she got the victory over Ivy Niles. If they run these two ladies back again, me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I've seen it tons of times in NXT. But I wouldn't mind seeing it again because to me, they entertain me. They told a story. Lyra Valkyria compromised her leg. Ivy Niles fell short. What is Ivy going to do next to mend her loss to Alpha Cat, right? This time for American Made, with Chad Gable. So we'll find out as weeks to come. There are other partners of the American Made. You had the tag team War Raiders the champions, defeat the Creed brothers in a match that the Creed brothers, when you see them, at least their entrance, a lot of fans sit on their hands when they come down the aisle. Now they get the "you suck" chants, which is thank God, because they weren't getting no reaction. But when the bell begins, the in ring fans are chanting, "This is awesome," because they win. They are such good hard workers in the ring, especially in the War Raiders as well. But I'm speaking of the Creed brothers, seeing them as well part there. We knew that the athleticism, the gift of wrestling and entertaining are there for the Creed brothers. It's just something about either their entrance or they need a signature moment where either you're going to despise the living crap out of the Creed brothers or you're going to uber fall in love with them. And I don't know what it is yet for the Creed. They haven't found that niche yet, but they're going to be a tag team force, but they're missing that caveat, Chris.
They're missing something. And, you know, if you guys watch them in Bloodsport, they were really good. Like, these guys are legitimate amateur wrestlers, like fighters. Like, these guys can really grapple. I think they have potential. I wasn't big on the Creed brothers at first. I thought they were really boring. But these guys, as a heel under Gable, these guys could be something that the tag team division of WWE is missing, that heel. I know they're trying to turn the Street Profits into heel, but let's be honest, it's so fucking hard to boo the Street Profits when we all like Montez. Angelo's an Ohio State fan. I'm never going to boo him. Like, I like these guys too much. And I get it. I play into the storylines, you know, as a fan, as an observer in the crowd. But, you know, these guys are too likable to be a top heels, and they don't really have that. They don't have like what TNA has, like with the Colones, or they don't have like what AEW has with like the Hearts and the King. Like I think the Creed brothers could, you know what I'm saying, be that tag team where Chad Gable, whenever he comes back doing what he does, he could be that guy where these are my tag team. These guys could be dominant. Like, give them some mic exposure and just have them cut heelish promos and let's see where that goes. I don't think we've really seen that. But I like once in a while, but I wouldn't mind them as tag team champions, as these two big dominant heels that just tear on everybody, and have Chad Gable go out there and speak for them. I mean, it works with the Heart Syndicate. I mean, it works with a bunch of other tag teams. I think the Creed brothers have something. I think they do. I'm not going to count them out just yet. I think even if that means going down the NXT for a month, kind of going at it with like, I like Miles Bourne, and what's the other guy? What's his tag team partner?
You got Trevion Heights.
Yes, they could have great matches. He could have good matches with Braxium. I mean,
but they already dominated. They were dominated NXT already.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. So for me, them, like I would love. I think, you know, we say a lot of these people, oh, go back, but like for the Creed brothers, you know, like Kev just said, they were kind of just there already. But I don't know what it is they're missing, like Kev said, but I see something. I see something with them being the tag team champions, these dominant heels, and as long as they have Chad Gable, you know, kind of being that guy with the suit and kind of does the talking, kind of like the Don Callis of the group, or like the MVP of the group, I wouldn't see why this faction couldn't work out.
No, you know what you're missing, Chris? You're missing that one moment in the Creed brothers crossroads where either they're going to be despised, despicable, like, and I'm not saying they're going to do this, guys. I'm just using this as an example where they're going to punt a kitten. Or I'm not saying they do that. I'm not advocating for any.
To get somebody under your skin.
Right. John Cena kicked the nads of Cody Rhodes, and we despise him now because he hit the. The Creeds need something in that. They need to put someone through the Titantron, a beloved character or returning legend, something that you're like, these son of a guns, you know, the SOBs. Something, or in an Uber babyface come to an Uber rescue of someone, and they're like, oh man, the Creeds gets endorsed by someone, and they're off and running. They're missing that one thing. They got the it factor. I'm a fan of them.
Yes. Do you remember back in I think it might have been 2004, 2005? They need like a JBL moment, like
Yes.
him going in El Paso and like giving Eddie's mom that fake heart attack, or like him throwing all these guys over the border. Like they need something that's gonna get. I'm not saying. I mean, WWE likes to play into it, so I'm gonna say it. I think they should attack somebody's family member in the company.
Yeah, no, that's something they need. That's the moment. That's the moment I told you.
They're built like two guys that are like, well, like these guys could like look like NCAA wrestling champions. Like these guys are like monsters. Like you don't want to mess with them. Like they need like a JBL moment. Like I agree with Kevin 100%. They need something like that. Even if it's like beating the shit out of like a veteran like Rey Mysterio, who everyone loves, which the New Day is kind of doing that now. But that's just an example of somebody of that beloved status that they could just beat up. I mean, they could beat up R-Truth. They could beat up.
There you go.
Go after the top guys and beat them up. Go beat up Cody Rhodes. Make a statement. Like screw it. Like somebody.
I'm gonna give you a comparison. Before the injury, who put a statement that we're like, holy crap, Rick Bronson Reed. You all remember him doing those monster tsunami over and over. The Creed needs something like that.
Yes.
There's something there. They need something in that despicableness. They're like, oh damn. Yeah. And I think they got it in them. We'll see. We'll find out. We're here for the ride for them. We'll see what the Creed brothers, what's in store for them next. They came up also short on the opportunity of winning gold. We have, as we move through Monday Night Raw, we have setting up another Penta and Ludwig Kaiser back and forth. AJ Styles came out and talked about Cena, but then we had Karrion Kross got some more television time backstage, kind of putting a little bit of a dissension or a little bit. Remember, he already messed with AJ Styles' head before. I like what Karrion Kross. I got to get him in ring more, but I like to see him. At least he's getting more TV time for Karrion. Good job, Karrion, what he's doing and planting seeds. I loved it. Of course, we got some stuff set up for next week. A Tornado Tag Team match. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee taking on Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. AJ Styles is going to be called out by calling out Logan Paul, and because this kid, Karrion Kross, got in his head. Of course, the steel cage match, Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. That's going to be for Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden Monday Night Raw tomorrow night is going to be stacked there. I want to get to the couple segments here before we go into NXT. We have again, in one of the shocking moments, no one thought so close to WrestleMania, under 40 plus days. You have Io Sky taking on Rhea Ripley with Bianca Belair at ringside. She doesn't want to talk about, or she doesn't want to address tonight, the situation between Jade and Naomi. That's going to be unfolding in SmackDown. But the match there with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, where you were on your pins and needles on the edge of your seat, a lot of people nonchalant might have thought they're not going to do a title change. Lo and behold, like Roddy Piper says, when you think you have all the answers, I change the questions. And Triple H changed the question here, and we have a new champion as Io Sky wins, especially on that, she did it on homage to the whole Damage Control with the Carrie Singh elbow, Dakota Kai's kick in the corner, and as well as the Asuka lock. Io Sky continues to solidify herself, and you could dare have that conversation. The best Japanese-born wrestler in WWE in women's history. She might have surpassed Asuka.
So, Io Sky, I'm gonna say a lot of good things about Io Sky, because I know I'm not her biggest fan. I just can't get it.
Okay. That's fair.
I can't get behind her. I just can't. She's one of the best in-ring wrestlers that women's division has. In ring, I love when she goes up on War Games and does her flips. Her in NXT was amazing when she was Io Shirai. In the Black and Gold Day, shout out to all my Black and Gold viewers. If you remember Io Shirai, Io Sky in NXT, this is nothing new. I'm just genuinely surprised that it's so close to WrestleMania, and Io. I didn't know if there was a clear direction with Io Sky because she went into WrestleMania last year's champion, lost. I didn't see it. I didn't see her beating Rhea Ripley for that match, but I like it. It's something new. I still think Rhea Ripley will enter herself, and it will be a triple threat match. I think something's going to happen tomorrow where Rhea Ripley cuts a promo, blah, 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 Io Sky. Then I think somehow, some way, we'll get a triple threat. I don't know exactly how, but I think we'll get a triple threat. But Io Sky, she's phenomenal. I'm curious how it's going to work out because during her first run, right, we know she kind of had like Dakota Kai next to her cutting the promos for her because, again, this is nothing towards Io Sky. Her English isn't the best. We know that. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. That's nothing to do why I don't get behind her. But that's the reality, right? I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. I think she'll be just fine. And, it's something new. It's a little bit babyface versus babyface. So we'll see how it plays out. We still have a little over a month until WrestleMania. I know a lot of people online were really pissed off about Io Sky winning. I'm a Rhea Ripley stan. I love Rhea Ripley, but we gotta sometimes you gotta put our biasness to the side and kind of realize, okay, this isn't bad. Like I don't like Io Sky, but these two are gonna have a good match at WrestleMania, and there's still so much that has to be built. So I think it could play out. I think it's gonna play out good. I think Bianca's gonna win it at WrestleMania. If it is a one-on-one, I still think it's gonna be a triple threat. But until my prediction comes true, I'm not in fantasy. I'm not gonna talk about it because that's not the reality. But yeah, Io Sky versus Bianca, good match at WrestleMania. This was, again, just proves not every big thing's gonna happen at the pay-per-views. You gotta watch Monday Night Raw. You gotta watch SmackDown. No matter how bad it is right now, you gotta watch the show. So good stuff. Shout out to Io Sky. She's gonna have a good match at Mania.
You mentioned something how bad it is right now. I think that's a stereotype bullshit that people are saying online. Everybody and for everything. A wrestling fan, and I had this conversation. I'm going a little bit off topic. I had this that conversation. I had this tweeting conversation, posting back and forth. I thanked Lex Luger, or I expressed myself, and right away, congratulations to the total package, Lex Luger, getting nominated into the Hall of Fame, getting that call, well deserved, well earned as well. And a good friend said he had a lot to say about Lex Luger, about him getting in the Hall of Fame. And I didn't hear his video yet. I have not gone on it because we finished at 1 a.m. Last night with the UFC. Got up early to get this prep. Also, I got to take care, laundry and all that real life stuff. I want to be able to. I'm going to sit down and enjoy his podcast. I want to hear his. And I said, you're entitled to your opinion if you don't like Luger getting into or what he did. He had a negative past, self-inflicting, but he has repented and he's shown remorse. And he has paid the price because he's trying to fight out of a wheelchair. So he has his own demons that Luger that he fought and foremost going through and try to overcome. But it doesn't take the fact that he was an entertainer. And while what he provided as a performer is worthy of the Hall of Fame. So I congratulate him on that in the redemption story, because you could see that he has remorse on him. There's remorse even in his expression and in his look. That's my opinion. But if everyone's entitled to their opinion with it. My point is when I went on that deviate, everyone has always something whenever it comes to the world of wrestling, ratings, videos, and I'm guilty of it myself. We tend to harp on negativity of everything that happens in the wrestling world, and I'm guilty of myself too, because we all tend to. I don't know. I guess it's easier to go on negativity than some accentuating positivity. I think people roll their eyes when something positive comes. But my thing is, SmackDown hasn't been really bad. It's just a little long. That's it. Their ring, to me, I think SmackDown is very entertaining. but it's just a little long at times. You have the whole entire week falling upon us, especially for us. Example, I'm going to use myself because that's the best way I can only is me. For me, I get up every day at 3:15, 3 o'clock, anywhere from 3 to 3:30 in the morning. And sometimes SmackDown or Raw finishes at 11, said 10:30, but we don't say the show's over end stream. We talk a little bit, we conversate about recapping, and then when the show a little peek inside the curtain. When the show's over off the air, we also are cordial to say thank you for or having a conversation with whoever's on the panel, because you don't say, oh, we got to go, because we want to be, it's courtesy, cordial. It's 11 o'clock by the time we're done, 11:30. By the time I hit the fall asleep, it's probably 11:45. Up at 3 o'clock, 3 hours of sleep. So I'm doing that 4 days a week. Come Friday night, you tend to get a little tired. You tend to get a little 3 hours. The whole week of working falls on your shoulders. You tend to, and it hasn't been bad. It's just the whole week comes crashing down on you. And in my opinion, but the Cody Rhodes promo with The Rock, I Must Steal Your Soul, we didn't understand it. Doesn't mean it was bad. Not everything that you don't understand is not terrible. No, I'm just not saying you. I'm saying in the wrestling community, IWC.
Right. I'm guilty, dude. I'm guilty of it myself, too. So.
We're all guilty because I was negative when it came to AEW on Wednesday night. I was a little negative, but then I said, you know what? I should be harping that they're trying to be positive and draw people in to watch the pay-per-view tonight, which we're going to do here, by the way. So did they do a good job? I'm going to watch it. I'm going to invite you to come watch it with us. And we're going to try to keep the little bit of the negativity out and practice what we preach. And we don't have to be all unicorns and flowers and happy-go-lucky. We leave that for Nick's Real Talk. No, we're doing this here. We're going to be real, honest opinion. We're going to be whatever we feel. And we're going to try to keep it, not bring all that negativity nonsense if we don't like it, we don't like it. Plain and simple. But I think SmackDown was okay. SmackDown's been good. It's been just too long. And I want to give Heather Wright her flowers because she mentioned that back in October when they announced the 3 hours. She says, it's too long, Kev. It's too long, Jedi. It's too long. I said, no, it's going to be good because there's going to be so much storylines. And we say it goes too quick. And we're seeing in the summer, they're going to cut it down to 2 hours. I think we're going to appreciate when it goes back to 2 hours. I think again, sorry I went off a little bit away from what we were talking about with Monday Night Raw. But Monday Night Raw was really good, was strong. It makes me not want to watch tomorrow night. And from Madison Square Garden, the arena itself draws you in. And now the card that they put out there, tornado match, a tag team tornado match, the New Day, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. Oh my goodness, that place is going to go on fire. CM Punk in a steel cage with Seth Rollins. I mean, we might have John Cena, maybe not. Although, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't need it. I know I'm going to say, we got to hear from John Cena. Madison Square Garden, the cage match, doesn't need. I don't think if they show up, it's a bonus, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That card has already a lot of, SmackDown for me, or SmackDown, I don't know why. Raw for me doesn't need John Cena. I think SmackDown would benefit more from having John Cena just keep playing it out on SmackDown.
Yes.
Raw right now has a lot going on, and they're at a point now, Kev, where they could finish whenever the hell they want. I mean, they don't need to force feed stuff like they do on a network to get the time in. They can do what they want. So I don't think you need John Cena on Monday Night Raw. That's just like you said. That's just a bonus for it being on Netflix. Getting the eyes on the product. And Cody's his opponent's not even on. He's just making role appearances because it's the road to WrestleMania.
And we would say that Netflix on Monday Night Raw was a little not so good before Elimination Chamber because it wasn't the in-ring, it was the production of the event was not connecting for us. The placement of the breaks in Netflix, because we were thinking this is Netflix, They're going to be limited breaks, but when they put breaks into the matches where you're getting into it and they go away, and then when they come back, something else happened. How the hell that was my disconnect, my negativity towards Netflix. It wasn't a Raw on Netflix. It wasn't that the storyline or the matches sucked. It was the placement of the commercial and the pausing of the action that took me out as a wrestling fan to watch Monday Night Raw and say it was a really good show, because while they're having a great matchup, they're gonna give us, and they tell you how long, of almost 2 minutes of commercial. Guess what? I'm looking at my emails or I'm going to social media. I'm not paying attention no more. So my attention and unfortunately we're in an attention span, a short attention span era. But if you keep that in ring, and then once that match is over, you could go to commercials, you could go to and then the match wrestling's coming out. I'm gonna stop this because now the new match is starting. I'm invested back in. That was our disconnect with Monday Night Raw, at least from my opinion. It wasn't that the performers or the storyline or the matches were lacking. It was just that placement of the pausing with Monday Night Raw, but it got a little better, and especially with you never know what's gonna happen on a Monday Night Raw or on the World Wrestling Entertainment. They're getting back to that moniker. And we saw that also on Tuesday night for NXT. NXT, again, you could say episodic, very good. The only criticism we had about NXT personally was the markets, the big markets that NXT CW had decided to go into the political realm with the CW and Trump had his State of Union address. And I had a little bit of a problem with that because it's not really it wasn't a major election. It's not an election year for a presidential. Also, I understand what the president's first State of the Union, you need to hear it, but they had other networks. You had CBS, you had Fox, you had ABC, NBC, you had MSNBC, Fox News. They had those outlets that cover that. There was to me, this was an overkill in the political cities of the opposing candidate, of the opposing president, trying to do a watch along of the what you call it, of the State of the Union to heckle. It was if you watch that CW, if you watch it Chicago, New York, and I was surprised Illinois, Indianapolis did it.
I'm surprised we didn't get it.
There was no need for that. You could watch it on those other affiliates. And then they tell you, watch it Wednesdays. This is where I think NXT WWE, I think, is a one and done with CW. If they're gonna pull this crap, and look, election day is understandable because we are who we vote in our government is more important than collar elbow tie-ups. I get it. Also, what President Trump has to say to address the nation is more important than a leg drop. I get it, but there's outlets for that. Where in a world where there's so many channels, so many streaming platforms, so many where to get it, you interrupted this here, and there was no other alternative to see it. If you would have told me CW, WPIX in New York had another, you could watch this on UPN 9 or switch here, you're able to see it live if you're in the New York area. I wasn't in New York. I was in Florida, so it didn't affect me, but it affected our stream, and that was stupid.
Yeah.
What's going on? Salute. Jay. What's up?
No, yeah, I before we actually get into the actual show, I agree with Kev. And if you were on the playback Tuesday, appreciate you guys, cooperating with the stream. It messed up our stream a little bit. I had to get things rolling on. I got things rolling on during the 9 o'clock hour, and you guys are really patient, with me, producing the stream. So appreciate you guys for that. I agree. I live in Pennsylvania, which is probably the state that probably decides the elections. So I'm grateful that let's be honest. I live in Pennsylvania. We're probably the reason why, but anyway, we're not here to get into that. We're just here to talk about, at the end of the day, what we do, why our NXT streams every Tuesday, they distract even what we do here in the Sports Guy Network, here in the ring. That crap distracts us from what's going on in the outside world. There's a lot of people in the wrestling space that don't more than half of the IWC does not. I know they're not happy. I know they just don't want to watch it. They probably have already a lot of stuff going on outside, probably due to the government. I think this is the type of stuff that like us as fans, as humans, like we want to get away from that political crap. I mean, we had over a year of campaigns, commercials for local politicians and governors and senates, and I'm sick of it. I mean, we just had a whole over a year of that shit with the I can't do it anymore. Like, I understand.
Yeah, wrestling interferes in our escape, Chris. That's what it is. This is an escape.
That's my point. That's my point. So like, I like the CW. You guys got to be more generate. You guys got to be more curious, especially with the cities you pick. You picked the biggest city in the United States. You picked the city that they are going to this week for their pay-per-view. They're going to Madison Square Garden for Raw, which you never know. NXT people could appear, vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's the one thing that like is crazy. Like the New York fans that are going to Madison Square Garden Theater to watch NXT, they have to wait an extra day to see what they're getting into for their show. That was bullshit. So CW needs to they need to do a better job, because that's unacceptable. They cut out, they're really strict on overruns. Like even USA can be lenient. TNT is definitely lenient with AEW. So like they're really strict. So like I don't know. It's they got to do better than that. But I didn't like that as well, Kev. I didn't like that because it got
despite the fact, right?
That's not the point.
Despite the fact CW putting restrictions, it didn't take away from what we saw on Tuesday night in the ring performance. Hell of a show for NXT. NXT continues to deliver week after week. One of the best episodic in-ring, outside the ring professional wrestling all across. We got to see the Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green with Piper Niven taking on Sol Ruca and Zarya in a tag team match. Well, we saw a bloody Chelsea Green. That image that's still of her with that bloody nose. And very impressed to see her take. She got pinned. We got Sol Ruca with the Snow Snatcher. And that was a very eye-opening surprise there to see that there. What a match. What a match there with that there. That was a good one there. Let's talk about also here. I wanted to talk about this one. We had a little bit of a scare. In the Jordynne Grace Cora Jade match. Cora Jade got her bell rung. We thought it was her knee giving up, but she got rung. Jay says Cora still sucks. I mean, there's a lot of history between them two. So, I know the inside joke. So, that was funny there, Jay. That was funny. But she got bell rung. Thank God she's not a knee injury where it's going to take her out of the ring. Just fuzzy a little bit. Got her bell rung for Jordynne Grace. I mean, she is a juggernaut. I mean, that's a brick house right there. Your thoughts, Cora Jade? She makes it for next week's pay-per-view for TNA for the Knockouts title. We've had Marsha Slamovich in the arena too.
I mean, yeah, you guys go watching the playback, dude. I don't know what you have against Cora Jade, but I am a huge Cora Jade fan. It's not just because she's hot. I appreciate her development over the years. I appreciate, all she's been through injury wise. It sucked, and that's part of why this sucked to see. She reported that it wasn't her knee, she just got a bump in the head. So I'm believing her word over dirt sheets. So good job, Cora. Thankfully, nothing's going on, because she was supposed to win the title her first time, got the knee injury, got her first one, and then she comes back at I think Deadline in Connecticut last year or the year before, and gets her knee blown out a couple weeks later. So as she's standing there holding up the title, so I there's so much potential here with this crossover with TNA. She has the chance to put the NXT women's division on the map. She'll be the first, and not just NXT, WWE representative to carry a TNA title. I think that's huge. That is massive. So, I hope she's good. I hope plans didn't change. I hope it's not serious. Maybe plans didn't or not. I'm rooting for her to win. She's been killing it going to TNA. She's been doing double, triple TNA tapings every week. and then doing NXT, and then doing the pay-per-views. So she's a workhorse. Shout out to Cora Jade. Thankfully,
And shout out to Cora. Shout out to Cora Jade. I also enjoyed her development.
Amazing. I have no words. I have no words. That's the greatest image I've ever seen. I hope Cora's credit score drops to 400.
There you go.
That's funny. I hope credit score drops. That's funny. That's horrible.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit. We get her. Hopefully she gets better. But here's a match, though. And again, WWE does not shy, at least Shawn Michaels, down on the Performance Center to keep bringing some good women. Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan in that match there. One of the spots there that I was like, wow. And I don't care. I heard some people complaining or criticizing it. They could go suck an egg because when your fat ass doesn't know how to do that, the Spanish Fly spot on Jada Parker. I want to see you go up there and do that instead of criticizing Jada Parker doing that Spanish Fly.
Oh, you talking about when Jada Parker did it to Kalani?
The Spanish Fly spot between that match. Yeah. I heard people complaining about it online and saying some funny stuff. I say you guys try to do that before you criticize those ladies doing that spot.
I thought the match was good. The only thing I would say about that is you're wishing the worst, man. That's worse than anything. Cold McDonald's fries, I want to go back there and throw it in the fryer myself. But no, with this, it's she could have, or not could have. The only thing people could complain about is she could have got a little more air. Kalani wasn't hurt. They landed fine. What's the issue?
Exactly. The chin. They chucked the chin.
The only thing you could say is literally the only thing you could say is she could have got a little more air. She could have,
yes.
She could have lifted, or Kalani could have done a front flip to help the momentum and get a little more air. Other than that, landed safely, and it was nobody. You wouldn't even notice unless you're an inside, like a guy like us who studies it. Like if you're just somebody watching,
they tend to complain whenever it's a female wrestlers. They tend to complain a lot about their moves. Even the way they come.
Jada Parker. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Yeah, female in general, but because this is Jada Parker, and people don't like her now. So
I don't know why, because she's an in-ring performer, inside the ring, awesome wrestler.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that. That's the last thing. IWC cares about these days. They give a shit about what happens in the person, and they use that shit against you.
I'll give you a little bit of an insight. I'll give you a little bit of insight about our person. She's a real sweet girl. I was told by a good source that she's a very nice young lady. Very nice young lady. Not just being funny. A very really nice, down to earth woman there.
That Corey guy, they took a picture yesterday at the live show, and he said she was really. Someone was like, "How was that?" She was like, "Oh, she was really nice." I wanted her to ask for a selfie. She said, "Sure." I don't like when the IWC. You guys don't know her. We don't know her. Let's talk about what these people do in. I don't like that. I don't like.
We don't need to know. We don't need to know if she uses Charmin or Scott tissue. Seriously.
No,
we don't need to know.
I don't give a shit. I care what she does inside that wrestling room.
Now, one thing I do want to know, what has gotten into Trick Williams, who is totally a badass. That gave me vibes of Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren match with the knee, the trick shot to Kale Dixon. Yo, Trick is not in another level. They brought that aggression out of Trick Williams that Bubba Ray Dudley's been complaining about busted open. They've been roasting. They roasted him when he was NXT champion. And now he's shown that aggression and I love that babyface aggressive for Trick Williams. I love it. Soon I got to get down there. I've been. It's that Tuesdays is a little tough, but I'll be heading to some live shows. Definitely going to NXT Live Orlando. I got to get some live shows. I got to get back to NXT. I miss seeing. I got to take some pictures and go there. And hopefully soon. Yes, soon, really soon. I got to get there. I gotta stop being a hobbit and staying in my house and go out there and soon. And what are your thoughts there with the Trick Williams total light switch?
I like it. I like it. I like when the baby faces aren't fully baby face, kind of like what Cody's starting to get into, kind of like what I wanted Cody to be when he first came to WWE. I understand, baby face business, but we're starting to see these baby faces now be aggressive. That's what you have to do. You can't let these people stump all over you like Trick Williams has been doing for the last 2 years. Everyone's like, oh, this guy could kick. If this was a real fight, he'd kick the entire roster. Happen because of how damn big and athletic and he is. Like, he needs, you can't push a guy like that. Like, a guy that's big in size, like Cody Rhodes is different, but like Trick Williams is massive. Like, he's so athletic. He looks like a killer. I'm happy but he's so over, and it's a mixture of both, and I like it. I hope the fans like it too, because a lot of fans are like, I don't know if he's heel or babyface. Good.
Just enjoy it.
Those when people ask that, those are the wrestlers that I intend to like the most, because in real life, I'm a nice guy. I get along with everybody. You get along with me. I get along with you. I try not to ever be the bad guy. But I think we all have a heel side. We're not going to let anyone. We're grown ass men. I like it. It's realistic, Kev. It's realistic. So I love it. And Eddie Thorpe's great. I think he's I think he's the most underrated performer on that roster. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how this guy, we didn't talk about him that much. He gets into a storyline with NXT Tag Team Championships and that little trio. Doesn't get his way into it. For weeks, we're wondering what's going on with him. And then he pulls the swerve of the century backstage, and I didn't have to do anything, and I get my title shot. See you guys at the pay-per-view. I mean, that was amazing. That's good stuff, and he plays the part really good. He's good on the mic. I mean, it's that Dakota Kai effect. You know what I'm saying? No, it's good. I love Eddie Thorpe, and these two work so. I thought Trick and Mello worked great together. No, these two work phenomenal together, and it's like with Eddie Thorpe, like he's still kind of a heel. Like he still is a heel, but like you kind of want to get. So, at least for me, I think he's the most underrated guy on the roster. I love Eddie Thorpe, and I like what Trick's doing. I think they're gonna have another great match, just like they had that great strap match at Vengeance Day. They're gonna have another one. I'm excited. They don't even need a championship on the line. That's what I like about NXT too. They put really good stories without titles on the line. So
exactly. And then for Eddie Thorpe, you are what you eat. Of course. So that's that effect on him. We move on here in a match there. I can't wait because I definitely want to get to Evolve. We're gonna get to Evolve right after the NXT because I have a lot of good things to say about Evolve. WWE Evolve. For the North American title, Shawn Spears taking on Tony D'Angelo. They planted a little bit of a seed there with Stacks as inadvertently hitting the Don. We get a new champion, new North American champion. Is this the end of? Could we see a final fight between Stacks and Tony D'Angelo for the control of the family? Where Tony D'Angelo might be main roster bound, moving up. Stacks now becomes the Don of NXT. We saw Luca Crucifino staking his territory on Wednesday nights on Evolve, but I like the fact that Shawn Spears becomes your North American champion because that group, that fasten, has gotten more interesting ever since Izzy Dane has joined and aligned him.
I love you guys. Watch the playback again. I wanted this to happen with Shawn Spears finally winning the North American title. You guys can say all you want. Oh, he's a 44-year-old guy in developmental. Shut up. He's good. He is going to help these guys that his faction elevate. You need to start this faction. You need somebody meaningful. Sean Spears, well known, great in-ring performer, and now has NXT. Now has gold. He has gold around his waist. I could see him being that heel guy that's like, all right, he uses Izzy Dame and all these guys to like fight. Like, you're not gonna touch. Like, he's like the king of the faction. I like it with Tony D'Angelo, and I think he might be main roster bound. Again, I get scared with that because we talked about this weeks ago with the week that all the releases happened.
Yes,
we talked about NXT, the main roster not having a plan for these guys. So I'm kind of worried. I would like him to go on a long program with the D'Angelo family, Stacks. Maybe try to gain that title, have a story where he tries to gain that title back, and then Stacks kind of family kind of like betrays him then in a rematch. Like, just something to where like we can keep Tony D'Angelo around in NXT, because I enjoy watching him in NXT. I think he gets good TV time. He's in a part of a important faction. I don't see where he fit in the main roster. But good match. I love Sean Spears. I've been a big Sean Spears fan. I loved his work in AEW. Wasn't a big fan of his Ty Dillinger run, but when he got to AEW, I really appreciated his in-ring ability. He just needed some character, and I think he has it now in NXT. So this was a good match, good episode of NXT, and I'm excited for Fraction and Hardy. They had a nice little face-to-face, and I'm ready for Roadblock. I mean, I think we've all been waiting for this for 2 weeks. So good show.
Roadblock continues to be stacked. Roadblock this Tuesday night from the theater at Madison Square Garden, completely stacked. You could say for CW, we had our issues in the beginning of the NXT review here. Regardless, they're going to get a premium live event on free TV. So us as wrestling fans, we need to tune in and watch, because when you don't get that kind of a card, especially under 40 days before Stand and Deliver. This card at Madison Square Garden Roadblock, you could easily say could have been a Stand and Deliver card with the title, the title versus title matchup with Valkyria and Julia, with Woba Femi and Moose, with Axiom, Nathan Frazier taking on the Hardys. Drake Williams versus Eddie Thorpe, with the stipulation that they have in that match, so on. That could easily been NXT Stand and Deliver in Vegas, but they're giving to you at the Theater of Madison Garden on the over-the-air television. You just need rabbit ears in the United States to watch that. Rabbit ears, you put it on your tongue and you're ready to go. And for those for all the cheapos that don't have cable or streaming platform, you could watch it for free. This should be getting close to 900,000 views. If there isn't, there's an issue with that network or the reach of it, because this should easily, no way that the Dwayne The Rock Johnson should be outdrawing this card for the Roadblock. The Roadblock has to be a big time draw. Hopefully it does there, and I hope they evolve their network and their audience to another level. And speaking of Revolve, let's get right into WWE Evolve, the new premiere show. The Wrestling Syndicate, Mr. J, send me. I want to go personally. I want to go. I was saying that on the stream on the Watch Along Live. I said, yo, Wednesday night, I said, man, where is that? How do you get tickets to that? I want to sign up. I don't see it. I need the link to get in there. I need to go to Evolve. It's the first inaugural episode, and say no less, I am a fan of it. I told you, I've been speaking about it from our watch-alongs. We start a half hour early to talk a little news and notes and our opinion of the night before of watching wrestling. From the Kendall Gray, Carly Bright matchup, but I think Kaylee Armstrong was the star of Evolve. I keep saying it again. If you hear me every week, if you follow us and you watch, and you kind of think I'm a broken record, but I can't stop giving Kaylee Armstrong her flowers, because I think she stole the whole Evolve show. For her, she took away the main event spot from the men who put on a hell of a 6-man tag, but she just took that spot at the end. And my final thought when she said, "Who I didn't get pinned, I didn't lose," yelling at them. and unclear as she wants a one-on-one match because she never got pinned. To me, it took away from Cappuccino Jones, Legacy. It took away from all those guys. Seeing them being the last ones to hold from Shawn, Legacy, Jack, Cartwheel, and Cappuccino Jones took away from them being victorious. It was her. She took it and she grabbed it, pal. And she was the star there. I thought also there's storylines. This is everyone said, oh, that's just level up. No, Evolve is a level up, but with more storylines where they're gonna showcase the independent wrestling with WWE storyline promos. You got a little bit of that in Level Up, but it was so short in time. It was only 35 minutes of Level Up because it was always they had to get people in the Performance Center, record it, and get into NXT Live for the USA Network. It was a little rushed. If it's now on a Fridays or on a different day of the week, they're going to give it its time to breathe. They're going to put storylines there. One of the storylines in the very first match, Kendall Gray might be turning on Carly Bright. Carly Bright became a little too over Potter Puff for Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray has like a chip on the shoulder. She's not here to play anymore. She's not, she's not just I'm happy to be here in NXT or in WWE. Now I got to make a name for myself. And Carly Bright is just that happy, bubbly, butterfly girl where I think you're going to see a turn there. You're going to see a Shawn Michaels turn on a Marty Jannetty, eventually on that there. You could see that being set up. I'm just using that as a reference. I don't think it's going to be exactly like that, but I'm using it as a reference point. Follow my lead there. That's a storyline. Danny Palmer, good to see her in the ring. Good to see her back and healthy, working. Hopefully she gets to work here and work on. I love her frog splash. She hit a hell of a frog splash there. I kind of miss her old ring attire. The denim with and the red shirt. I was distracted. I thought I was watching All Elite Wrestling with Harley Cameron. So yeah, I didn't, I don't know what I was thinking, so that took, it is what it is there. But again, this was pretty good for Evolve. I loved everything, Trey London. Everyone says, oh, he got squashed. Keanu Carver was a beast. But the story here is now as a wrestling fan, if you're going to watch the show, you're going to rally behind Trey London because he got lost. Is he going to rally? He gave up his NFL career dream to become a professional wrestler. And to contemplate in a storyline, man, what the hell did I do? I'm interested to see how the writer and creative in the storyline for Trey London shows up and weeks to come. If he loses another match, is he going to self-doubt himself? And then he's got to have a pep talk, maybe with a WWE legend that comes up to him and say believe in himself, whatever the case. And then the Uber baby face in Trey London kicks in. I love that. And Keanu Carver, monster beast. I mean, he's the next guy coming up behind Obafemi, where you're like, holy S. I said enough. I want to let your thoughts here with first the ladies, Carly Bright and Kendall Gray, and then with Trey London and Keanu Carver.
So I didn't see the full Evolve. I'll be honest. I was watching AEW. But I what I liked about Evolve, going back to the Trill London situation real quick, I really enjoy the guy who squashed him. I see a lot. You saying he's the kind of what's his name again? Kind of Carver. Yeah, he's kind of like the next. Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy's size. I thought he moved the ring. The match wasn't long, but I thought he moved really well. I don't know how to explain it because Trill London, I see him kind of being like a Darby. He kind of kind of like a Darby.
Leon Slater.
Yeah, like a Leon Slater. Like I can see him being in that route in NXT, like a Javon Evans in the future. He's the one that stood out to me. I do have to watch Evolve. I thought the ladies showed out. I don't know them by their names or any of that, so I'm not going to go into detail with the ladies. But each and all that, they all showed out. I think WWE is doing a really good job of producing women women's wrestlers from like the NILs and college athletes and all that. That's kind of like what a lot of these Evolve guys are, correct? They're a lot of like NIL.
It's a mixture with the WWE ID. Now the first opening contest.
The ID. Okay, yeah, right. You're right.
The first opening contest with the ladies, they've been in the Performance Center for about a year, a little more. Kendall Gray, Carly Bright, they've been in there. They've been on Level Up before. They've been in the leagues and on TNA as well. So is Carly Armstrong and Danny Palmer, but their NIL athletes have been a year in the ring. The only WWE ID you could say is either Trey London. Well, he's a professional football player that came in. You could say NIL or ID, independent, as well as the main event were independent men for the 6-man.
Okay, so I mean I love this. People are talking about, or people talk about NXT being like developmental. I wonder if this is
their developmental.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting.
I'm thinking. To me, that's the development.
I'm starting to get that vibe too, because when you first kind of started, NXT has always been the start point. That's kind of not the start point. That's kind of like a next level. When you get to like Evolve and like LFG, that's kind of like the next level is NXT, and then so like I like this concept. Like you said, they're giving us a little more story. I gotta pay attention to the two ladies you said were turning on each other. I do have to pay attention to that. For me, I gotta go back and watch because I watched AEW Dynamite, so both at the same time is kind of hard to watch. But I thought Evolve was good from what I've seen. I have high hopes for Trill London and the big guy that beat him. I'm gonna learn some of these people's names. But overall, I like this. This is good, and I like the whole WWE ID system. Having these whole independents, reality of wrestling, and all these other schools join, because it's it's real easy to just research who the hottest guy on the indie scene, look at some of these indie guys that already have seasoning. Like this just proves that like WWE can really make you into something. Because a lot of those LFG guys too, I see potential in. Some of them have only been in the Performance Center when they started filming the first episode, like a month. So
yeah,
I think this is a great way to develop new stars. I really do, and I got to keep my eye out for Trill London, because I think he has something like a Darby Allin and a Leon Slater coming for him in his future. So.
And I like it because when a wrestler makes an impact on you, you remember their name. And to me, and it shows you, and I'm not here trying to measure my penis. I'm here trying to say that these people captivate me and I'm invested in every one of these names that I mentioned for Evolve. I've even the independent wrestlers. First time I saw Jack Cartwheel was on Wednesday night, and I remembered that Cappuccino Jones. Boom. Remember their name because they put on a hell of a show. Swipe Right were very, very, very entertaining. I really enjoyed the Swipe Right as the heel with the group. It meant something when wrestlers could connect with you in the independent scene where you remember their name. So next time, let's say there is an independent show in Orlando with Coastal Wrestling. There's one of they're big here in Orlando, Coastal Wrestling. And on the marquee, they have, Brad Baylor or Ricky Smokes, I remember them. They were on the independent scene. I'm going to pay the ticket to go see them because I like what I saw on television. They made an impression on me. And that's what this program does. Tony is in the building, brother. What's going on? And I loved it. I enjoyed it. I can't wait. Now I'm excited now, thanks to Wrestling Syndicate. He's going to set, and I'm going to be able to go now to Evolve. It might hurt our SmackDown watch. It might hurt my watch-alongs on SmackDown, but I want to be in the arena. I want to be in the building to see Evolve. The way I invested my time in NXT 2.0, and now I see these kids, all the men and women from 2.0 now ruling or marquee matchups, holding gold in the current roster right now, and Lyra, Valkyria, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes. I feel like a relative to watch them grow, and enjoy, because I knew my cheers and my time wasn't wasted because they're becoming the next people, and the world's now seeing what we saw in a performance center on a Tuesday night for a week in, week out, on investing my time cheering them on and watching them grow as a performer. That's what the pride that I get, and that's why I like to say, and I know Wrestling Indicate will say as well, we are NXT. Not just a slogan, but we feel it in our heart. We are NXT here in Orlando. It doesn't mean that you can't be living in Chicago or in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania or in New York or in Brooklyn. No, you are part of NXT, but we feel it because we're privileged to go see them week in, week out.
No, absolutely.
And
that's a great
I'm not taking it for granted, the opportunity to go and cheer them on, seeing a Braun Breaker grow. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are tonight. Yes, we are tonight. And speaking of that, we had the go home show, so we're looking forward to Evolve. But now we're gonna get into a little go home show of Revolution, AEW's go home show for the pay-per-view tonight. You're going to be able to watch it with us on the playback. Heel of the Ring. We had a phenomenal job last night with the UFC. We got to stream the UFC. Everyone got to see it with us. They enjoyed it. They had a good time. We had up to the co-main event on X. As far as X let us go with the co-main event, we're not going to argue with that. They let us show the main event up to the co-main event. That was fine. But we'll try to go back on X to show a little bit of the pay-per-view. But we urge you, we ask you to come to the playback. It's totally free. It's just like YouTube. It's just like X. It's just another platform where we're able to stream the show, to stream the pay-per-view there at 6:30. We'll look like we're going to go. We're going to get the 0 hour, all that stuff. We're going to have that there. Come and watch along with us. As soon as the stream is over, I'm going to set that up. It's not set up yet to give you a link, but that's our channel. But as soon as the stream is over, I'm going right to it to set that up for the pay-per-view. So we are going to be doing Revolution, but we got the go-home show. I clicked off as soon as Evolve was over. I was in a good mood. I felt good because Evolve really, really got me going. It got my wrestling juices going, and we got right into the go-home show for Revolution. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you it kind of intrigued me to want to buy the pay-per-view because I want to see where the Death Rider story is going to go. Is Cope, the next WWE wrestler, going to win and then end the Death Riders? But I don't know. But give me your thoughts on Dynamite. You watched the whole card from here. I know where I came in was for that. I saw some of that eight man tag. Your thoughts?
You saw that ridiculous ass Jay White and Max Caster little squash match. I can't, because you started the stream and I was like, oh no, Kev's.
Oh yes.
I checked my playback and I was like, no, he's clicking the stream at the worst time right now. I'm gonna go on. But no, I didn't think AEW Dynamite was bad. They started off contract signing between Swerve and Ricochet. People are like, oh, what contract signing for what? I understand. I agree. Maybe the argument you can say is this is the number one contenders match. So maybe that could play into it. But I like this promo. It wasn't a bad promo. They talked about, Ricochet said Nana will see the robe at Revolution. I really think Ricochet is gonna beat Swerve, and I hate to say that, and I think Nana's gonna turn to Swerve. That's gonna shock the entire place. I think that's gonna be a moment that we're like, but Kev was talking about the Death Rider, so I'll talk about that real quick. We had Cope versus Wheeler Useless, and then they made him go in the arena looking like a tough guy. Nobody has gone. I've been watching Wheeler Yuta in AEW since he's been with Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, William Regal, Danielson. This guy has never this guy's never been important to any major storyline that faction has had going on. He's always been the hitman. He's always been the guy taking the bumps. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see him in these big matches. He's literally the wimp of the Death Riders. I don't like it. They treat him like trash, and he needs to lead the group. I think Moxley's gonna win at Revolution. I hope the Death Rider storyline, because remember, we have Christian Cage. He still has a contract. It's kind of like what Frankie Kazarian has over in TNA. He can it's like a Money in the Bank. You know, he won it at Double or Nothing, which is almost a year, so he needs to catch that straight. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if Copeland wins and he uses his contract. I think everybody's forgetting about that. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But the thing that's worth talking about in the match that I want to see is Hangman Page versus MJF. That is the best rivalry that company has going on right now. I'm happy they scratched whatever BS they had planned with Jeff Jarrett and MJF to pursue this, because these are your two homegrown talent that helped put AEW on the map in the early days, and now they're having an important match at an important pay-per-view. I love this match. I think MJF should win the match. I thought this should be the number one contenders match over the Swerve and Ricochet match, just because these guys have more ties to the world title. In my opinion, you know, Hangman's a former champion, so is MJF. I don't see the reason to put the title back on Swerve. You didn't do anything the first time you had it, when everyone wanted him to have it a while ago, and you waited too damn long. And when people finally, when he finally started swerving around that AEW title and finally won it, nobody gave much of a damn like they would if Tony would have given the title to begin with. That's the best rivalry they have going on. I thought that 8-man tag team match with Ospreay was a freaking mess. I don't like when they do 8-man tag matches in AEW. It's a spot fest. It's one giant spot fest between 8 guys. That's what it is. That's what it is. It was okay. I thought the guys in the match were good, but all of them together is just, you have all these little guys, you have these big guys. None of it makes sense. It's not going to help you. None of it's leading up to Revolution. You didn't even have Kyle Fletcher in the damn match, but you had Will Ospreay. I don't understand. I didn't understand that match. It was too much. But and one more thing, and then I'll let Kevin go. The Mariah May Tony Storm, the segment. When is this gonna end? I know everyone's praising it. I don't care. I'll be the guy. I didn't like it. I'm sick of seeing this. I am sick of seeing this damn promo between Mariah May and Tony Storm. If you're going to put the title on Mariah May, which I think is going to happen, why would you have her lose it in her hometown to begin with? Less than 2 weeks ago. There was no point. No point. I don't like the whole timeless Tony Storm gimmick. I was never a fan of it. But you know the reality is, Kev, you don't have anything better than this in the women's division. That's the sad part. The sad part about this is nothing AEW will do in that women's division could top that. They pushed the wrong talent in that women's division. Mercedes has gone through the entire roster. Now they have to bring some nobody from Japan for her to get squashed. And apparently she's a pretty big deal in Japan. Not anymore. Because Mercedes is going to squash it. Because what she says goes on. It's ridiculous in that women's division. At least the men with Swerve, with Hangman, you know, they have something going on. The Death Riders, even though that's horrible. Like you said, Kev, people want to know what's going on with those 3 matches specifically. Nobody gives a shit about the women. Not one women's match on this card. Nobody gives a shit about. And if you really tell me you guys are invested in Tony Storm and Mariah May after we've seen this for how long? How long has this been playing out? You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Give the title back to Mariah May. Push her, and have somebody else. Have another baby. Because the women's division in AEW sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
Wow. Here's what. It's a lot there to unpack. I don't know. I'm going to start with it.
I take my Dynamite reviews a little serious, but The women's division stuff it's bad.
That's cool.
And that Max, I don't even want to talk about the Max Caster and Jay White because they people want to say, I'm sorry, real quick, Kev. The people online, I went into a space the other. I don't remember the guy who does the space, but shout out to him. He does good spaces. I enjoy his spaces. But this one guy in his space was talking about, why doesn't AJ Styles go to AEW? Why can't AJ Styles? And everyone's like, okay, who do you want AJ Styles in AEW? Everybody was like, Jay White, Jay White, Jay White. So you're telling me you want to see a man go to AEW to fight Jay White after what we just saw? What Jay White's doing right now? You think people are going to want to be invested in Jay? Because people will be invested in AJ Styles. And all the internet marks like me are going to be invested in Jay White. But if you go back and see Jay White, you're like, this is the guy people want to see AJ Styles come here to fight. No. You guys got to let that freaking narrative go. Because after what me and Kev witnessed on Dynamite with Jay White and Max Caster, and poor Max Caster. Yeah. Sorry, Kev. I just had to throw that out there.
No, I gave me time to where I want to start. Wow. Whatever. That's just a mark. When it comes to the start of the men's, let's go with Ricochet and Swerve. The contract signing is great. Everyone, the wrestling again. Tony books his Dynamite to the crowd, the paying crowd, instead of the audience viewing, the millions that are, or at least the 700 or 600. No, excuse me, 600,000 that watches each and every week. Instead of he books for the 2,000 people that pays to go watch the show. They got the pop with the Samantha Irving. Ooh, or your wife, your ring announcer wife. Ooh. One thing one thing about AEW where their storylines, they telegraph so much their storyline. You could see there's no all shock and all value. You like you said, you see Nana turning on Swerve. That's so telegraphed because he gave him a warning about if he doesn't bring him his roll back, he's going to attack him, whatever the case is, or he's going to walk away, not be part of him no more. Also, the winner of that match between Swerve and Ricochet is going to pretty dictate what's the main event. Because who's going to win the main event? Because if it's Swerve, you're going to get, he's kind of, the crowd's going to go behind him, and the Death Riders are going to be the people that you dislike, and you want to see Swerve possibly beating Moxley. Because why did they box themselves and saying that's a number one contenders match before the matches even start for the pay-per-view? You boxed yourself. That's a stupid creative. Just stay quiet. Wait until the next week. You know what? We had a great pay-per-view. The match between Swerve and Ricochet was so great. You know what? We're gonna make the winner after the result. Then announce that winner is the number one contender, not before the match happens, because now that match has more implication. I mean, that was they boxed himself in a creative corner, in my opinion, because now we know, it becomes predictable, especially when you're doing a show with so many matches, because now the 0 Hour came out. 0 Hour has 4 matches, but ladies and gentlemen, don't have no fear. The pay-per-view has been saved because the Costco guy is here. Yes, the Costco guy is here. He'll be on the 0 Hour in a triple threat match. Well, what I mean, let me not divert from the Costco guy and his hot dogs and his cookies and the Rizzler and the Twizzler and all the little porksters that follows him with him. Let me stay with Dynamite. Mariah May and Toni Storm. That's the hottest feud right now. You go to Busted Open. Oh, I love that Toni Storm. Oh, they're doing the best work in her career. Yeah, because she's doing a Hollywood role. She's still doing Queen of the Ring in the wrestling ring. She took that role that Hollywood producers made for her and she brought it in. And kudos to her. But that's not originality. Someone else gave her that. She got it over. Good for her, brother.
Yeah, you're talking about Toni Storm. Yeah,
Toni Storm.
Yeah, I watched the Queen of the Ring. So I now that I've
And let me guess,
Queen of the Ring.
it's the same promos that she did in her movie.
I won't spoil it for anybody.
No, I know it already. You don't have to tell me, brother.
So see, you know that's already gonna happen. So.
But all in all, it was an okay go home show. It was an okay go home show, despite the fact that the Jay White Matt Caster match was a little The 8-man tag, we're like, okay, you guys put these guys together, and Orange Cassidy with his hands in the pocket took on, was trying to beat Lance Archer with Cage, two big monsters there. I thought Powerhouse looked strong, but of course, here I come to take the glory. Will Hairspray with the victory, and hey, look at me. And then Cal Fletcher comes out at the end, and it was like, they try to cram too much shit in 2 hours. You're cramming too much. It's okay to, they cram too much. They just want to, they want to cram it in there with no lubrication. It's like, ugh, and people get turned off. The wrestling fans, the IWC has lifted up their panties and walked away because it's too much cramming without with no foreplay. It sucks. That's why ratings are 600,000. Simple. That's why the ratings, because
I will say that I will say that's about AEW. Right now I'm not going to talk about anything that happened in the show, because we talked about that. Good show. Obviously, same shit every week. Decent show. We know what could be better. Pay-per-views are gonna bang. I think the crowd looks great. Whatever arenas they've been.
The arena looked good. The arena did look good.
They look good. The crowd is. Say what you guys want on TV at home watching. The crowd in the arena sounds invested. They sound good. Oh yeah, they did get into it in the premiere. But Tony Osprey is my favorite AEW wrestler. But yeah, I think the production has looked better since going to these other things. Kev said
yes.
This is why it's good. Because it's good for conversation. I'm a guy who loves it. He doesn't like it. It's good. It's good to hear both sides.
Yeah, I mean, look. When it comes to the Dynamite, the aesthetics looks great. I kind of want to see now. Now they're going to a big arena tonight, and I still think it's going to be looking good. I think it's going to look good on TV. I think it's going to look good on the pay-per-view. The fan base is Los Angeles. People want to be there. People are going to show up. It's a pay-per-view. Oh, it's Los Angeles. If I tell you, if you're going to the arena, make sure you eat. Make sure you eat for a while, because you're going to be there a long time. I mean, he already announced 4 matches for the 0 hour. It's like the Spanish aunt telling everyone to come in for the photos, because you got trios match, you got an 8-man tag, you got a God team match. But besides the Costco guys giving you the boom, you got Gravity now. Gravity. So
Gravity versus Jericho for the Ring of Honor Championship. Woo!
This is why this company has issues. You didn't need that. You didn't need Gravity versus Jericho. It just, do you guys really want to see that? Or do you want to see the Shane Taylor promotions taking on I guess the Undisputed Kingdom or the Undisputed Era, whatever the hell they want. It's Daniel Garcia now, Mr. Charisma, with the other Mr. Charisma, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, the only one that's over is Adam Cole, because he just says baby, with his big lollipop head. I mean, ugh. Lee Johnson and Blake Christian versus Commander and Hologram. What the fuck is that? That's what in Evolve is that? Not even Evolve gives you a better matchup. And you come on. Hologram. Then you have this trios with.
We got Hologram. Don't forget.
Yeah, hologram and Gravity, the same fucking mask in different colors. Yeah.
Those I don't know why do I don't know why Tony insists of having 0-hour matches. Like have one. If you want 0-hour matches, Tony, limit it to one. There's no reason you need to have a freaking full card.
I give you two.
It's just one women's, one men, and boom, have the panelists go out there and talk because there's no need for it. All the extra.
No, because you fatigue your fans by the middle of the card. You got 9. I believe it's 9 matches after that. And by the time, you play, that's not including the 0-hour. Now you added 4 more. You're looking at almost 13 or 14 matches. Your crowd is fatigued. And you know what? All the hypocrites that were complaining about the WWE, that WrestleMania was almost 6 hours, brother. And when they did it in MetLife. Remember that the whole WrestleMania is so long. It's 5 to 6 hours. Oh, that's why they complaining. But meanwhile, you sit around and watch this slop for 6 hours. But then you complain about the WWE. And it's not about tribalism, about WWE, AEW. No, it's about the words that came out of your mouth of the complaining. Well, WWE was so long. Those pay-per-views are so long. Now you're complaining there's only 5 matches. But meanwhile, you'll sit here and watch 6 hours or 7 hours of wrestling with no story build, just matches. Like your Latina aunt telling you to all gather in for the picture. We'll throw everyone on the card to wrestle tonight. I mean, let's not be hypocritical. Let's keep it even on all platforms. How come they haven't been showing Willow? Willow, I thought, and what made sense in this pay-per-view should have been Willow versus you know who I am? You know, Marina Shafina. I guess nobody knows who she is, so they're not going to put her in the card. That should have been a match there because you've seen they have interaction there. That should be one of the matches there. That should be one of them there. That's where we needed that match. That Willow versus Marina Shafina. That one should be there. But no, they didn't put that there. Where you can have Willow beat the crap out. If you're going to have Moxie drop the title, Willow has hurted her so bad that she can't come out to be on Moxie's side. And now you kind of have a little bit of an even playing field because if Moxie were to lose the title, Marina wasn't there for shenanigans. But again, booking 101, where the owner seems like he has no common sense of booking. Does have no common sense. I don't want Cope or Moxley with the title, put the belt on Hobbs or MJF. I don't know if that's going to happen, Tony, because right now Tony Khan is really enamored with the ex-WWE wrestlers. The title is either going to go to Moxley, Cope, Christian Cage, or Bobby Lashley. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like he's not going to pull any of his homegrown people or anyone within the company to be the face of the company. And he's going to bring, it looks more like the 55-year-old Cope is going to be the world champion. Or the 52-year-old Christian cashes in on that contract, which they don't emphasize it. All you see is a guy there standing with he looks like he's about to give me a track and tell me Christian, Jesus loves you. That's what he looks like. I mean, Willow should have since she lost to Monet, has never gotten a title shot again. They buried her. Listen, if Toni Storm wins tonight, who she got left but to fight Mercedes? That's it. That's all that's left. And then what do you do with the division? What do you do with the division? You might sell a couple extra tickets at Texas Stadium, all out or disaster. I don't know. I don't know what's next for the women's division. The women's division got talent. They got talent. And I'm not talking about just tits. I'm not talking about just tits. They got talent. That's what, oh, she's great. She's not great. She can't wrestle. She stinks. She stinks. She doesn't wrestle. Willow could wrestle. Statlander could wrestle. They have women that could wrestle in that company. This one is not ready yet. There's nothing wrong with her. She's captivating. You want to see where she wraps her hands around. She's great with putting her hands up a puppet. She's phenomenal with that. We could tell she's good with her hands. But in ring, She's not good, ladies and gentlemen. She's not. And there's nothing wrong with her. That's part of her development. But AEW doesn't have a development system for her. And I can give them kudos. They're giving her television time. But book her with the right women. Book her with the right women. Where's Robin Renegade? Where the Renegade twins at? She should be beating one of the Renegade twins, or either one in a feud. Where's the other Abaddon? She should be feuding with Abaddon. Where's that? Those are the type of women that Harley should be wrestling and going after, not Mercedes. They're not in the same level. And that turns you off from the product. There's nothing wrong with building her and building her up. But it's just like, ugh. Well, AEW failed because they don't know how to build their young stars, and they believe XW wrestlers are there to save their show. That's the con, because he wants to put on bangers. They don't do house shows, one. So they don't know where to get reps. They let them go to the independent scene to pick up bad habits. To go wrestle in the independent scenes, to pick up bad habits from independent wrestlers and not work out. They don't know how, not to, and there's nothing wrong with the independent scene. You can make money, but you don't know whether they don't do mostly TV or in the production. They go pick up bad habits, this and that from promoters, from other people who are malcontents, who are in the independent scene that they or jealous. Oh, you think you're better because you're on TV every night, every week. You come here to wrestle. Doesn't work. You got to have Tony. If you might want to have to give up one of these television shows, because Collision, whatever, and do some house shows with no television shit in it. Maybe a couple house shows. Go back to the basics. WWE don't want to do it.
They try.
Do it.
But they try.
And why it failed? Because these wrestlers don't want to do it. Because they think I came here just because for the lighter schedule. No, I'm not going to do it. Egos. Because he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. We'll cancel it. Be assertive. No, put it in the contract. I need some house shows. We need to I got to make money here. We got to make it better.
Shows, and they were successful. I don't know why they stopped doing it.
Because their wrestlers don't want to do it. The wrestlers don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. It seems like they don't want to do the house shows. They don't want to work the extra schedule. They're running from the grind, like Hairspray said. Oh, we don't run from. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because they rather go to AEW, work only on Wednesdays and Saturdays, maybe, and not work the extra house shows. Where which sucks. They need the house shows. Dark Elevation, as much as people shitted on it and complain about it, Dark Elevation was needed because they got to see these kids or these these independent wrestlers wrestle and come up and get some. Yes, did they make a lot of botchamanias and botch videos with all the stupidity that happened in there? But that's up to production and coaching to fix that. They never did. Right? If someone's not listening to the coaches, and you're telling me no one's going to listen to a Big Show, a 7-foot guy come up to your face and tells you, hey, you need to try this, that, or Lance Lynn, or some of the coach, Dustin Rhodes. No one's listening. What's going on? I'm surprised Willow hasn't asked for a release, because she's getting probably. She's one of those that's probably loyal. She knows she would have been an independent wrestler because let's face it, Tony, Willow Nightingale now because she got herself over and she's popular. But before she even got television time, she probably would have not been a sniff around the WWE television because they already got a Nia Jax. They don't want another Nia Jax in Willow Nightingale at that time. And Willow has gotten into tremendous shape. She looks phenomenal. She's a mark to me. WWE would make her an uber babyface and market her now. But she cut her teeth in AEW. Now she made herself attractable, or you could see the value in Willow. But before she came out, no, her suspenders, she looked like a cornball. And now she made herself, got over with the crowd. She learned, trial and error. She's one of the white hot wrestlers in wrestling. She should be going to a big company. She should be the face of All Elite Wrestling. She should be the main female babyface in that company. Over Britt Baker. Where's Britt Baker? Hopefully we see something with her tonight in the pay-per-view. I wouldn't mind her coming out and help Mariah May, or in that feud there to align herself from Mariah and whatever, something. I kind of would like to see Britt Baker back in the fold in this trios. I don't want to see Mariah. I don't want to see Britt and Mercedes. I don't want to see it. I don't know why. Everybody was cramming for that and craving for that. The owner gave it to you too quick, too fast, and you didn't really appreciate. You didn't simmer and tasted the build for it, and it just turned you off. I don't want to see it. You've been there, done that. Don't need to see it. But we'll be doing the pay-per-view. We'll do the pay-per-view tonight. We'll see what it looks like. I'm intrigued. I want to see it. Am I gonna be upset? Maybe not. We will find out. I don't know. Maybe I went and watched. Maybe I should have watched a tape. LFG that taped a while back, and I would enjoy it. Speaking of tape, we'll talk about TNA. TNA final one of the tapings here on the Full Sail week number 3. In a real good one here, we have Elijah coming out, Joe Hendry saving him, all the good stuff there. The face-to-face between Moose and Obafemi. The Hardys defending their titles against the Cologne. TNA continues. I'm not going to put too much on TNA. TNA continues to build towards not only that with NXT Roadblock, but also their pay-per-view Sacrifice coming up. That's going to be a good one there, especially this Thursday coming up is the Go Home show. And, of course, we'll be doing that on the Sports Jedi Network playback channel for Sacrifice. You'll see it. So you could, if those that don't have the pay-per-view could watch it there. We're going to have split playback. We're going to have SmackDown on the heel of the ring, and on the Sports Jedi Network, we're going to have Sacrifice TNA. So interesting to see that.
For Sacrifice than I am for TNA.
And we'll bring us to where everybody's talking Friday Night SmackDown. Yeah. But we'll talk about the first thing that everyone was waiting for, the Jade Cargill saga. We had Bianca Belair in the ring. Naomi comes out, and we hear her confessing that it was her all along. I did it for you, B. I did it for you, B. What was your? I mean, is there more to this story?
Absolutely, there's more to this story. We need to hear from Jade Cargill. That's the key to me making a prediction to see what's going on. Because initially I thought Bianca was on the side of Naomi. Now I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that.
Interesting.
I'm getting it's. I don't know what I'm getting. I feel like Bianca's in part of it. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Are we gonna see because Bianca has to focus on the world. So I wonder if maybe this is finally Naomi gets a WrestleMania moment and has a match against Jade. I like this for Naomi though, because she got some real heat calling Naomi an ungrateful B, and it's Naomi needed this.
Yes.
She's been too baby facey, even in TNA and Impact. I thought she was gonna have a heel run. This is good for her. This is good for her. She definitely has heel. It's different seeing her as a heel, and it kind of didn't feel. It kind of felt like people might say it was a cringy segment, but I kind of liked it. I just want to know how this is gonna play out, because Jade a heel? I don't think she is. People just want to get behind her because she got attacked.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how to play. With Bianca reacting the way she did, and same thing with Naomi, I'm kind of lost now, because I thought the whole time it was going to be a swerve where Bianca was working with Naomi, and we knew that. But I'm not getting that vibe.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, I have a couple questions. Who recorded the video? Who sent the video footage to Pearce or Nick Aldis? Who recorded it? Why they pinned Liv and Raquel? The agenda on that one. I wanted to see Bianca. I got to now, like you said, I want to see Bianca in the ring with Jade. I need to hear them both.
Yeah.
Because what's they're gonna say face to face to each other? Did you knew? I want to hear Jade ask Bianca, did you knew? And I want to see her in her eyes, because even if Bianca still turns heel, will she lie through her teeth to Jade? And did she put on a Twitter?
I kind of still be my theory could still be, I could still
absolutely
be right, but again, I like I said before I even said what I needed. I need it.
That's on the table.
I want to know if she obviously she got knocked out, if she got beat up. Does she remember? Did she see anybody?
Correct. That's what we need to hear from her. That's why we need to hear from her. We need to hear from her what happened, or what she could recall. Remember, is Bailey part of this? Bailey and Naomi has a great bond, bigger, stronger. I know that she said, Naomi's statement was she came in here and she really wasn't one of us. And this is on the heels of rumored that Shayna Baszler and Jade had an issue on backstage on Raw. There wasn't some issues, some discontent, and they kind of brought it to storyline wise. Again, I still think this Paul Levesque Triple H regime is
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, that was leaked out that they had an issue.
Back to back, face like an interact. What? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they had to be separated backstage with their like an altercation. But take it for what it's for a grain of salt. It came out of Meltzer.
Oh, never mind.
Exactly. Take it for a grain of salt because that guy wants to just throw dirt. Like say, see, they have issues, backstage issues too. So I wouldn't put too much grain of salt with that there. But WWE put that in the storyline, trolling. It could be also, like I said, they're throwing stuff out, chum out there to see who's a leak in the company, throwing out to the dirt sheets to see if what gets repeated like a parrot, and they know where it came from. I wouldn't be surprised. Triple H is that cynical. He's a cerebral assassin for a reason. Nickname. He's not nicknamed that for fun and games for to put it on a t-shirt. There's a reason behind it. And I think that's sometimes thrown out there with those chums, and you see how the dirt sheets want to be the first one, like Chris, the wrestling informer, another one on Twitter, on X, who wants, he wants to now put on information about Carmella personal life, which mind your business. Don't put nothing. We don't need to hear that. I don't need to know I don't need to know if she uses Charmin or Scott Tissue. I don't need that. I just want to know what she's going to do in the ring.
That guy, I've known Chris the informer for a long time personally. And I'm not going to say too much about him, but what I am going to say is we have problems. We were cool. We were actually kind of close, but we have problems now because I called him out. All he does is copy and paste ringside news.
Exactly. But that's why I said that. That's why I said that. I think it's bullshit. Jade is a great worker, doesn't have no attitude. Everyone is great with. Yeah, that's why I think that's a leak situation there, Tony. And that's why they brought a little bit with storyline wise. I think they're putting chum out there to see who's the copy and pasters, who's the guys that go running quickly immediately to the dirt sheets, and they'll deal with them accordingly. We're not here to say we're dirt sheets. We don't have no insights. We don't want to be inside. We're just fans that want to opinionate and give our thoughts of the wrestling business, how we appreciate what the performers do week in, week out, and the companies do week in, week out to entertain us. We might not like certain things. Like I don't like certain things in All Elite Wrestling. I don't, not my cup of coffee, but I'm an opinionate about it. Like it or not like it, or what things that I do or don't like about the WWE, NXT, TNA, or across wrestling. That's what we are. We're fans. We're fanatics. We're fans who want to give our opinion about the landscape or this escape that's called professional wrestling. We want it better. We want to be entertained. We want to say we're complaining and we're reacting or we're venting for the companies to come and fix it so they could take our money. Very simply, that's what we're doing. We're telling the companies our gripes or what could be better so you could take our money. So you could take our hardworking money that we earn week after week to either watch, purchase merchandise, or go to the arena, spend money, fly to Vegas, fly to New Orleans, fly wherever to take our money and buy and support the product. That's what we're doing here on this platform, on this show, or when we vent and talk about wrestling. Not that just like, because they say, if you hate it so much, don't watch it. We kind of want it better so we could give you. We're trying to tell you how to take our money.
Yeah.
The only person that should turn heel should be Jade. I don't want WWE to keep her baby face. She plays it better. What's up, Luther? She plays a better heel. Jade plays a better heel. But I like Naomi because Naomi, as the heel, needs it. Because look, she's been a baby face and she really hasn't gotten over. She keeps getting pinned. I want to see her heel run. And if she needs an ally in Nia Jax because they're family, you could go with that as well because they are in the bloodline family member later down the road. Doesn't mean right away. You don't have to cram it. You don't have to do it right now. That's always there in the back pocket. They want to go that route. where Naomi or even Bailey, but I kind of want to see Bailey left a little bit out of it. I kind of, out of it a little bit, and we'll see where that goes. Naomi will do good as a heel. She's gonna do great as a heel. She's gonna do great as a heel because that attitude, that she's gonna do awesome. But then I don't know if Bianca turns heel. I don't know if Bianca's part of it. I gotta wait and see. I'm gonna be swerved if she is. I'm like, oh, because it's about because Rhea Ripley looked at heelish on Monday Night Raw. We didn't touch on that, but she looked at very unhinged, kind of upset. And to me, Rhea looks better as a heel. Rhea works better as a heel. I want to see her going against a babyface Bianca with all little girls with the ponytail wants to be. And so we'll see where they go. Was Bella a Rumble thing? For now, it looks like it, Tony. It looks like it's a Royal Rumble thing for a one-off, but maybe she's getting in wrestling shape. We don't know. But speaking about getting in wrestling shape, who always stays ready, is Natalya. I wanted to bring that before we finish and we forget. Natalya opens the door to get into the Crockett's Cup for NWA. Salute to Natalya. The boat will be wrestling at the Crockett Cup May 17th and representing WWE, crossing the lines and trying to be the bridge for NWA wrestling and WWE. So I got like that there. So we'll get back on here to SmackDown, where we're almost finishing, wrapping up the show here. For SmackDown, one thing that stand out again, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, they do the best together. We got to see Chelsea as a Cactus Jack. I love that outfit that she wore for Chelsea Green, giving an homage to Cactus Jack. That street fight with her and Michin was awesome. And I like how they got to the end where none other than Albert Fire in the hood. Like, who the hell was that? I did not know. I was taken for a surprise with Albert Fire joining Chelsea Green's cabinet. That Canadian Destroyer Michin, holy moly, was a freaking on the chair, was a spot. Michin is the queen of hardcore. I don't care, or the princess of hardcore, whatever you want to call her. That's her notch. I love it. I love that evolved character that Michin has falling into, but I also like Albert Fire now got something to do with Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea said she was gonna have another Secret Service member, part of her team. So we got that. It's good for Alba. Her tag team partner was released. And they need for her something to do. Clearly, they see something in her. They didn't release both of them. She's people are like, what's she gonna do? Her tag. Now we know. So, yeah, good match. Shot Meach, and she whether it's NXT or SmackDown, even when it was an Impact, she puts on these types of matches really good. Sucks she's not the United States champion, but she'll get it someday.
Indeed, in that. We'll find out where that goes with that title. Braun Strowman, Solo Sikoa, want to give a mention there, seeing the bloodline come out. Looks like there's still some bad blood between Strowman and not just Solo, but Jacob Fatu. With those men, Tonga Tonga comes down and breaks it up. Referee calls for a bell. Way to protect Braun Strowman, wins by disqualification. But the point is, they're not done with Braun. Braun wants a piece of them. Braun going crazy, choke slamming Fatu through a table. Dirty breaks it up. Fatu gets back up, and officials are on the way. So that they'll continue to tease those two. But I don't know if we get Solo and Jacob Fatu, because they kind of deterred there with Braun Strowman. So I don't know if they're prolonging it or making it longer. Maybe they want to give that to the people in Europe for the European tour. I don't know where that goes, but I'm invested. I like seeing Solo. I'm a big Solo Sikoa fan, as many people don't like him. I do. I think he's, along with Jacob Fatu, I think they to me, watching Solo from NXT 2.0 and all that good stuff, I like Solo Sikoa to see where that evolves. But let's go right to the main event, where we know the European tour. We were talking about this. I know I'm passing over Jey Uso and McIntyre. McIntyre gets the win, a match that I almost fell asleep because of Drew. Of course, the tag team turmoil. Of course, we're going to get the way they were explaining it. There's all different tag teams. Profits take on DIY for the titles, of course, but there's some number one contenders. But I want to go right to the United States title because it's Sunday and I want to be able to get that stream ready for the pay-per-view. United States title, Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Now, I have told you, I don't know who is going to win? We asked that question. I said it all depends about marketing. They're going to Europe for this for a couple of weeks. With people are going to go regardless of the fact. What about merchandise? What merchandise will move? A Nakamura merchandise or LA Knight United States champion merchandise? You know, people are going to already. You got them there. Now you want to take more money from them. LA Knight makes sense business wise to be the 2-time United States champion or Nakamura. Nakamura looks good with the title. I love his entrance. That all new that Japanese Undertaker type of deal. We were just joking. Him coming in, I like it, but it made business sense for LA Knight to be United States World Title, especially now he could defend it against Nakamura throughout the European tour.
Yes, I'm not a big. I like that. I'm not this big fan on him.
That's a weird one because he just let me sorry, Chris. He just signed a new contract. He just signed a new contract with the WWE. He just re-upped for a few years. So for him to want to release now, and then WWE allowed him to wrestle in Noah and showcase the United States title there, where he just signed a new contract. Kind of, is that Meltzer again? That's just Meltzer wanting him to go to AEW to do what? To be the next
G6.
Okay,
but yeah, I like LA Knight. I don't like LA Knight too much, but I like him winning the title here. I said this before. The United States Championship has felt really stiff. At least with Braun Breaker, you know, there's something, whether it's AJ, whether they do a multi-man match, like there's something there. I feel like with the United States title, it's really, it hasn't been there for a while since Logan Paul's had it. Even with LA Knight's first title run, it didn't feel like much. I think with LA Knight most likely bringing that title into WrestleMania should be okay, depending on who his opponent is. That's kind of where I'm at next with who's going to be the guy going into WrestleMania, maybe taking it away from him. Because like you said, you know, they're going to Europe, they're going to all these other places where it makes sense to put over LA Knight because he's so damn over. But who's the legitimate threat? Because I wasn't big on Shinsuke at the beginning. Even when they had their first match, when Shinsuke beat him, I wasn't high on it, and I thought it was a wrong decision. Again, despite how much I thought it was a wrong move. So this is a good move. I'm curious to see who they put him with. I mean, I can think of a couple guys. Carmelo. I know Priest. People. I don't think it's going to devalue him when people are like, okay, he was just world champion less than a year ago. Now he's going to the United States title. I don't believe him. I don't like that. There's no, it's not going down. It's simply there's other people in the championship scene right now, and you're one of my top talent. Give you the United States. They can go that route. There's some good people over in SmackDown. So, and again, what I enjoy SmackDown. I do. My only thing was SmackDown was not tonight with just the overall thing SmackDown. It's actually not the length either. I just feel like the at least maybe not now. I don't feel it that much now, but maybe a couple like early 2024, mid 2024. I felt like when Roman wasn't there all the time, I just felt like Raw, just like you go to Raw and you see like Seth, Punk, all Priest, Gunther, Jay, and it's like SmackDown, like now the 3 hours, like they're reusing guys for 2 matches. Like some of it just you could definitely see the different levels of star talent, but I think now that's good. I think, and it's again, you know, they're gonna wrestle with WrestleMania coming. I feel like all the shows are must watch, so I'm not devaluing it at all. I think now we're seeing some newer talent get in like the U.S. title, because the U.S. title picture for me is key, because we know the WWE World title, the undisputed title picture, right? With, you know, we know what Cody's going into, Kevin Owens, Cena, all that, but like the U.S. title picture really needed something, and I think that was the start. A good program that's going to go on SmackDown, depending on who it is. So I was all for it, and I kind of so that's why.
Okay, I'm looking at Nakamura's contract. I know he resigned recently, but only thing you see is his old contract in 2016. In 2016, when you look on the internet, and Sports Key is the only one that's pushing a narrative that he's not going to be the WWE. They're the only ones. Did he leave? His contract is up because they made an announcement. No, I know he resigned with the WWE recently. Nakamura is washed, according to some people. He isn't washed, Luther, but he is in the top of. He's not the top of the card, if it makes sense. He's a very upper mid card wrestler who could generate interest in a good storyline. You're not telling me Nakamura's storyline with Cody Rhodes, and we talked about Cody Rhodes being an underperforming or underwhelming title run, but even with Seth Rollins, they were pretty good. Rollins matches, the storylines with him in the back with cutting a promo in Japanese, dark. Nakamura, I kind of liked it. There is a place for him, but again, creatively has to give him more opportunities. LA Knight, I didn't see him getting any other belts in the U.S. He doesn't have that world title look. Maybe you're correct with that when it comes to LA Knight, but Nakamura, I don't think he's washed. I think he falls in that same category with an LA Knight, Tony. I think there's a nice happy medium for them to be in that title. Look, Gunther elevated himself. Gunther, you could say, is the best Intercontinental champion, but a lot of people say his world title run is very underwhelming, which I have we could argue about that, but man,
no, we could definitely.
I know you don't. No, I know you like Nakamura. I know you love Nakamura. Luther likes Nakamura. I think Nakamura is another one who's very, very good. I could have wished they would have gave him a world title run, anywhere from 2016 to 2020 would have been a nice run for him.
And he won the Royal Rumble. I thought he was going to be the next big thing when he won that Rumble and fought AJ at WrestleMania 34.
But there's nothing wrong with him. I still think he could still get important run for Nakamura. He's reinventing himself as a heel here. That dark heel, that persona, that samurai mask, that dark samurai mask that he comes in to the ring, and his presentation are on par. But I think him losing this title doesn't mean he's washed or he's leaving or he's disappointed. I think it's a bit, again, these days, wrestling fans, I'll make the statement: whenever you watch professional wrestling, it's when they book things, it's about what makes money, what makes sense for TKO, not Vince McMahon, for TKO to make money, marketing. Going to Europe with LA Knight as your champion, where everyone in Europe saying, yeah, Nakamura has a great presentation. There's no catch phrase behind Nakamura. LA Knight will going to be like, yeah, and the crowd's going to play it as champion. We want to give the European crowd a feel-good go-home if LA Knight wins, and everyone is with the music, everyone's saying yeah on the road, rather than Nakamura winning, because they want you to keep coming back. They want you to feel good and spend more money when they go back again. When they go back for another European tour, when it's not televised, when it's not house shows, they're gonna go because they're gonna remember the feel good stuff that you gave them globally on Netflix around the world. So it's about making money, guys. It's about making money when they book these shows. What makes more money and business sense? It's not what the wrestling fans feel good. What does the IWC? What does the heel of the ring think? What does Sean Sapp thinks is great for the IWC and all that? It's about what makes, at the end of the day, money. Who's going to open up their wallets and go and support the product? And if it's going to this direction booking wise, yes. If it does this direction booking wise, yes. For me, I've been on a tirade and I've been complaining that Roman Reigns should have broken Hulk Hogan's record. But it wasn't the biggest. It wasn't the TKO saw it. That wasn't going to generate money. That chase and a run for Hulk Hogan, Roman breaking Hogan's record, wasn't going to generate the money. It was Cody Rhodes' title run in the summer that was going to pack the houses. Regardless of the fact creatively if he was underwhelming or not, that would pack the houses. We got to see it that way. I want more Braun Breaker. I would like to see Roman versus Braun. That's going to be years from now, but that when he's a Paul Heyman guy, ex-Paul Heyman guy is going after Roman. I think that's where Roman puts over the business to Braun in a couple years. That's going to happen. Not for a while. I think we'll see Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker, and then we're finally getting Solo Sikoa and Braun. I've been wanting to see that in NXT 2.0. We didn't get it. They teased it. But I think we'll get that before Roman and Braun. But I'm for it. I do want to see that. I can't wait to see that there. And let me see what we got left in SmackDown before the LA Night tour. Next week SmackDown will be from Barcelona, where the Satai Katai was. If you're a Cobra Kai fan, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. Chris is ready to go.
I'm excited, dude. Hopefully, you guys go check out our Cobra Kai reviews. You guys did. We could have kept doing that for a long time, but no. One more thing with the LA Night. I wonder how it's international. I wonder how many international people are gonna go. Yeah.
Hey, you had Saudi Arabia going bananas and saying, he wasn't even on the card. He wasn't even on the card.
That's what I'm saying. They're like LA. Oh, at the press conference. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So good smack. It was a good smack. That was a good week of wrestling.
Great.
I think this next week, there's no pay-per-view next Saturday. Nothing going on.
Yes, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. We will be doing. I'm defensive. We're gonna do night number 2 because night number 1 is on a Friday night. Scott D'Amore, I love you. You're a good hell of a fucking promoter. You help elevate TNA, but why this time around when you did your second? Maybe because of the venue, the arena. Why your second time around with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling? You put it on a Friday, Saturday. Last one was Saturday and Sunday, and I could only do Saturday, not Sunday. This time now, I did night 1, not night 2. This time around, I'm going to do night 2, not night 1, because sacrifice is going on, and I'm not going to not watch Sacrifice over Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling because you're putting a lot of watch XW AEW on your card for night 1. I'd rather watch TNA with its storylines. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, no offense, you're casual. Once in a while you put together. It's a good shows, but it's like watching AEW make love to TNA's production. And Maple Leaf is still good, but I'd rather watch Sacrifice first. And you got SmackDown. So
We're gonna have
next week.
Next week's gonna next week's show could go on 3 hours.
It's going to be a lot to talk about because you got Madison Square Garden. I think we're gonna have to do review like 2 days after or day after, so we don't cram every whole entire week in one show. I think we might have to pivot, like a little bit.
You got Madison Square Garden at Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden Roadblock. With that, really anything can happen. I don't give a shit about AEW, but we'll evolve. TNA.
No, that's the fallout. That's the fallout from tonight. Revolution. That's an important show. And I'm not the AEW fan. And I'm telling you, that's an important show.
You're right. I totally forgot about that because I'm looking already ahead to next week. Because we're already at Sunday. Yes, go home or fallout from Dynamite. Go home show for Sacrifice. Double watch along. And then Saturday we'll probably do weekly wrestling because we didn't do yesterday because of UFC. So,
and then Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling at the nighttime.
So, thank you all for watching today. Make sure your butts are back here next week.
So we have a lot of wrestling people to cover, a lot of wrestling to watch and enjoy, and definitely also, and that's nothing. Evolve, and I'm going to give you. And we forgot about Evolve. And here's another sneak. I'll be able to watch SmackDown live from Barcelona at 1:30 in the afternoon because I have the availability to watch it. Because when they go into when I have because I have the channels to the overseas to watch it. When SmackDown's in Ireland, when SmackDown's in when they were in France, when they were I could watch it. Of course, that's
those guys, huh?
Yes, so I got to watch it live, which is good because I'll be watching Sacrifice, but I'll be streaming SmackDown on the other channel with I get
I'm
the
really
best of both.
excited for the Barcelona crowd. I wonder how they're gonna.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But with that said, we want to thank everyone. Don't forget, join us tonight. We are going to be doing the AEW on our playback. You'll be able to watch it. No cost. We're not charging. If you want to give us a donation on a power chat, we all take it. Super chat on the playback. We're more than welcome. You could watch along with us. We're gonna see the pay-per-view. You're gonna see it on the playback. Hit that link. You get to watch it. You get to see the pay-per-view from the 0 hour all the way to the end. I might not stick around to the main event. I might be going to sleep. My son might be. I'll be hot tagging my son to finish up the stream because I got to get up. I can't stay late to watch that. I can't wait for. I can't have Con have me up until 1 a.m. for nonsense. I got to make money. But we'll be streaming it. We'll be there. We invite you to join us. Come and join us. Come and join us. Don't be left out. Don't be pulled out. It's not gonna be on Twitch because currently Twitch had a bug in their ass. They didn't want me to show the UFC, so that's that. I have to take a class for a copyright on that. But it is what it is. We're on X. We'll be doing on playback. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and let's continue to get over. Thank you for everyone. Tony, thank you for Samurai. Thank you for Jay, the Wrestling Syndicate. Appreciate you guys, Chris the Flash, everyone that joined us on X. Appreciate you guys on a Sunday afternoon. See you in a couple hours. I'm going to go have something to eat, set up the stream, get ready to go. We'll see you for a 0 hour AEW Revolution, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.